All right, 6:30. Okay, it's cool. And pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. There were no scheduled speakers. We have a few sets of minutes we need to approve. Start with the December 21st meeting. This is a Friday meeting. Rich, myself, Ed Nason and Diane Smith, they were looking at the engineering plans, and then we just made a single motion with regards to encumbrance of some money.
I'll make a motion we accept them as presented.
All right, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
So, second set's from January 8th, 2019. Regular meeting. And there was some non-public in there as well.
Move to accept the selectmen minutes, January 8th. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Non-public. So they get lost during the shuffle.
Oh, they're part of this?
Yes.
Part of that, okay.
I thought there were 3 sets of meetings. Minutes.
There were 2 from the 8th.
Oh, I'm sorry, we had the non-public that week. Oh,
Information.
that's it. She's stuck in out. All right. Any public comments? Diane?
I just wanted to alert you to the fact that the Stratford Regional Planning Commission has released for public comment the draft 2019 to 2022 Transportation Improvement Program, which also amends the 20-year Metropolitan Transportation Plan. Comments are being taken through Thursday, February 14th, and a public hearing will be held on Friday, February 15th at 9 a.m. The document is available on the website. It's a little hard to find. If you go to their homepage, the notice is on the left side of their homepage as a document, and at the very bottom of the document is a link to the TIP. I went through it, and I have some comments that I'll be providing to them. Most of them are clerical sorts of things and a few questions. They had noted in the out years for the Metropolitan Transportation Plan 2 projects for Brookfield. I think we had talked about that at one other time. One was looking at the intersection of, well, they have Lyford Road and Route 109. I don't have the year on that, that's envisioned and happening. The other item that I believe was either in that document or a different document, I actually thought it was on a different document, was the town's interest in expanding access to high-speed internet. And I saw that and I thought, why is that in a transportation document? So I will bring that up with them. But as I looked at that, I realized that, and this is just throwing it out there for you guys, is I don't remember why Lyford Road and 109 was identified when it seems to me that the intersection of 109 and Governor's Road is more dangerous. I think there's been more accidents there, but I don't know that for a fact.
That's the intersection I was envisioning when you first said that, and then it...
I don't know why it's Lyford. And if it should be changed, you should provide that direction to me. There is a Transportation Advisory Committee meeting on February 1st that I'll be attending. So if you want to talk about it tonight or some other time, and let me know whether or not that, I mean, we can just say, well, it was a misunderstanding. We really meant it to be Governor's Road and 109.
I think we've always talked this Lyford Road, which when you come out, you can't see to the right unless you cut the corner.
Okay,
And then with the snow coverage, you can't cut the corner.
okay.
Is that your governor's being a problem? So I don't think you add for both.
No, I think the size you have to go down the governor's was.
Oh.
I mean, you can't, based upon the size, the height of your
Because
car.
over here is a rail cluster, it's how it's set up.
In the winter.
Especially in the winter when that little cutoff was blocked, that's the real problem. So I guess that's accurate then, you know, now that we're talking through.
Well, if it's just winter, maybe that could just be an arrangement with the state to plow it out, possibly.
It's not our property.
Oh, the little
We-
shortcut is not public land?
We had to write a letter to the road agent saying that you don't need to do it anymore. It's
Okay,
kind of one of
Okay.
those,
I don't know how they're gonna fix it, because it's a challenge, the angles.
okay.
But
All right. Generally, these are considered for intersections that have safety issues. Okay, but then if you don't want me to have them change that, I won't.
I think it sounds accurate now that we've kind of talked it through.
Can we add governors?
That's what I'm saying, could we do that for both, but maybe you know.
That would be, I think, a different process to add it.
To add it versus to make
Because
a
that
revision.
we could use that as an opportunity for correction if you wanted to switch.
Understand. Then I'd say we leave it as is, you guys agree? Okay, leave it as is,
Right,
thank
very
you.
good.
I just had some comments or questions and thoughts about the bridge repair on this mountain road. As you guys know, or you might know, may or might not know, it affects me and my husband's property pretty dramatically. And I wanted to come to an earlier meeting and just give you some of our first thoughts or impressions about the plans, but just was traveling, so I didn't get here, so sorry about that. But I tried to take notes because he couldn't come of everything that was a concern, so I'll try to get through them pretty quickly. You know, obviously, if the bridge could be repaired in some way, preferable to us because it doesn't impact, you know, basically put a road through our front lawn. If it's not possible, it'd be great if we could literally like understand exactly what the impact's gonna be, how many of our old growth trees are they gonna cut down, how close is the road gonna come to the front of my house, how long is the project gonna last, all that stuff we're super concerned about. Not really happy about losing a lot of our privacy. It's one of the main reasons we picked the lot, so we're pretty unhappy about it. But obviously we'll work with you guys to do what we have to. I think one thing that we noticed on the plans was like the filtering pit was really like taking up a big part of our side property where our house isn't, so on the other side of the brook. And we would rather have that kind of mechanical equipment closer to our house versus having the road close to our house. So if there was a way that they could shift things around and the road wouldn't have to be a temporary road and bridge would not have to be as close to our house by moving that where that filtering pit, I think it was a filtering thing, is placed, obviously would be greatly preferred. Yeah, and I think that was really the majority of it. So just making sure that we'd like to make sure we stay in the loop, and if you guys have any new updates or anything that we can look at, you know, just it's something that's very important that we'd like to kind of keep abreast of.
I think it's safe to say all options are on the table right now. The plans that we have for a whole new bridge and temporary bridge and all that, it's the least desirable. Is that safe to say, due to cost and obviously the impact? We're trying to determine if there's ways of hydraulically pumping in cement to shore up the abutments and maybe bringing the bridge down to a single lane. We're trying to think of alternate ways, because those plans were, while it's a feasible plan, it's very costly and the impacts are high. So we're trying to figure out there are better ways, cheaper ways, and less impactful. But totally appreciate that. Before we're at least a year, if not 2 years off, before we go down that road of making that full-on deal. But we will absolutely keep everyone in the road, in the loop, and especially since your property would be impacted if we went that way, there would be a cooperation.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
Very well. Anything else, guys, you want to?
And look to the plans, I didn't come to the Friday meeting, but I don't know if it was discussed, that filter tank set up right in the road looks to be the reason for a temporary bridge. And to Michelle's point, that could be moved. It may help.
Yeah, we wouldn't care if you had to put the filtering pit on the side of our yard property where we just go hiking and there's no house and no driveway. It wouldn't be as big of a deal.
Ed, anything you want to add? I know you kind of.
I didn't hear all of the comments, so
It was just concerns about the impact of their old growth trees and the proximity of the road to the house and then the filtering pit and so on and so forth. So, you know, the best I can describe is that plan's out there, but it may not be the plan we go with.
Right, yeah, we're exploring other options.
But yeah, it's at least, again, a year would be very quick. I think we're probably looking at more a couple of years before we would undertake that major project if we were to do what Holden's proposed.
Okay.
But we will definitely keep everyone in the loop firsthand. Any other comments?
Still on that bridge, I wasn't here Friday. Was there a discussion, Ed, on cost for a temporary bridge? Did that come in yet?
No. Yeah, I don't know if these guys, nobody's responding back to me. I don't know if it's the time of the year and that nobody wants to mess around with that stuff thinking they're gonna do something, but, yeah, no, I'll just keep pounding them.
Nice.
Okay. Treasurer?
So finishing up year-end work, which sounds silly this late in the year, or this early in the new year, but that's what I'm doing. Well, I'm not gonna make any rash promises, so I'm working on it. I did post tonight the new labor law posters for 2019 that I purchased, so we're all up to date as far as the labor law posters is concerned, and we look a whole lot less tacky without photocopied and pasted up things, so nice to have all new and fresh. That's probably about it.
Tax collector, anything for us?
This Friday, we're going to be putting out delinquent notices for people who did not pay their 2018 or earlier taxes.
Okay. And Laurie?
I don't think I have too much. I'm just working on the annual report for right now.
Okay. How has it been getting in reports from individual departments?
Some have been great, some have been difficult. There are several reports that I still do not have.
Okay.
Several departments I haven't heard from yet. So I did issue a reminder email. And I'm still waiting on external ones too. I have one of them from Wakefield PD, but I'm still waiting for all the other externals as well.
Okay.
So I have been in touch with the Wakefield office and I'll follow up again with her tomorrow.
Need any help yet?
Not yet. Thank you.
Planning board?
Our primary purpose for our last planning board meeting was a hearing for a petition warrant article, and that's pretty much what we did. The warrant article was to petition to have the ordinance change to have a certain area in town above North Stone Road being 10 acres minimum lot size. It's pretty much everything that happened in the meeting. So,
Your next meeting is?
Thursday.
No, I thought you were gonna meet on the master plan. That's why you had to tell me that.
You can check.
Yes, the first Thursday.
Yes, it's the
First
7th.
Thursday, you're gonna start working on the master plan.
February 7th, 6:30 p.m., master plan. Thank you.
Okay. Ed? Hi there.
Hi.
Do code enforcement first.
I'm working on my report to have for to Laurie tonight. And other than that, just a few, working on continuing projects that we have.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I have one application in for a new home, but it's incomplete, so I'm waiting for further information. Other than that, things are just calls and questions of existing projects.
Did you see the intent to cut for
I did not.
Brock on Walker Road?
Oh, good. You must have got the hint.
I can tell it looks fresh, and I said, I don't think he's seen it yet. Also, as a side note, we're talking about cutting trees and stuff. Eversource is going to doing a lot of limbing and brush work in surrounding towns, and they gave us a map of where they're going to be doing it. So, if you're interested, it's here. If not, I'll leave it on the table.
They gotta do what they gotta do.
I figured they get the right of way. So,
New home, is that Governors Road?
What's that?
New home, is that Governors Road?
Well, the one I'm working on, the incomplete one, no, it's in Drew Farm.
Okay.
Another one in there. Yep.
all right. Road agent.
It's been busy. We're doing quite well, I think, in my opinion, let's just put it that way. With these extremely cold temperatures, my plan, because we're getting rain tomorrow night through Thursday, if I clear these tar roads up as cold as the ground is, when that rain comes, no matter what the air temperature is, it's going to freeze. If I don't do anything, it's hard enough, it's going to freeze. So my plan is, midday tomorrow is to go put some salt out, hopefully at the right concentration to create a slush. A small, not a deep slush, it's hard to navigate, but just something for the rain to hit, and if it starts to ice over, it'll still be malleable underneath, so as people drive, it'll keep it churned up and broken up, so as soon as it stops, we can clear it right up fast.
Yeah.
That's my plan. And then, depending on how long that rain lasts, we'll be looking for another load of salt quick and fill up the sand shed again. So.
Yeah, it's supposed to start tomorrow morning, right?
Well, I think the national weather says that.
Yeah.
Everything I'm seeing is not until late in the afternoon.
5 p.m. according to the latest
Right.
forecast.
Because I know the advisory is from 6 a.m. to midnight, so that's why I didn't think there was going to be trouble school tomorrow.
Right,
So.
and I think it actually goes from 5 or 6 tomorrow night all through Thursday. It doesn't stop until after dark on Thursday.
Yep.
And we know how active they've been lately, so we should be good.
Yep.
Will you explain dirt road maintenance in these conditions?
Well, you don't put salt on dirt roads. So in this condition, the only thing we can do is just sand, just a constant sanding. And, I would warn people that keep in mind when it rains, it's not like the snow's coming down at 1 inch an hour and you could start with 1 inch of snow on the ground over here and expect to finish your route with the very end of it having 2.5, 3 inches. When it rains, the entire town freezes up in minutes. And I can't possibly be everywhere at once, so that happens, it's not just for Brookfield, that's the way it is everywhere. That's one of the reasons I'm trying to gamble a little bit on what I want to do with the tar roads, so that if it does get that bad for the dirt roads, I can, instead of one truck treating the tar and one truck treating the sand, I can put both of them on, the dirt roads, I can put both of them on the dirt roads and avoid that panic. The other issue we have, I'd like to tell you and the camera, is tremendous amount of people plowing out into the road, and they're not pushing it off the road, and they're not even cleaning up after themselves. And there's our snow policy says that's not good. The state RSA it's not allowed, and we need to talk about how we're going to go around. Obviously the first time around we'll notify them, I'll clean it up, but some of these I got to send the backhoe up because it's packed so hard. I can't do it with the truck. So don't do that.
So it's
Well, people
it's
don't
safety
realize.
because your trucks will kick out
Yeah,
and it's costing us more money.
Right, and the reality of it is when somebody gets in an accident because of that, first course of action is somebody's going to try to sue the town, and then if our attorney is doing her job, she's going to turn around and say, it was this homeowner after the plows went by and the roads were clean, and they are liable for that. So there's a huge liability to the homeowner who pushes snow out into the road. So, and I don't think most people know that, but that's the way it is.
Thanks for explaining the difference between the tar roads, the plan for that, and the
Yeah.
dirt roads.
Yeah, the thing, just a little more explanation, because I know hopefully spring will get here sometime, and we have that weather more often, but when the ground temperature is fairly warm, and we have icing, freezing rain, freezing upon contact, all it takes is good warm rain to come down heavy, and the ground temperatures warm up enough and it doesn't freeze. But as cold as it's been, that's not going to happen. I don't suspect it'll happen at all through the duration of this storm. So it's going to be a constant treating of it, because the ground is just too cold. So. Okay.
There you go.
I got one more thing I think we should talk about, and that is our walk shoveling policy, to make sure we're all together on that.
Sure.
I thought the understanding was you come in and try to clear out the parking lot and open up this walkway.
Yeah.
When the job is done, the storm's over, then you take over,
He comes in to clean it all
clean it all up.
Right.
So the only question is the expectation on cleaning this walkway. Is it when you're plowing or after you're plowing, or
I
what?
generally try to get to it before the office opens.
Okay, that's your goal. Okay.
And then, you know, it's your call. You tell me what to do during the, I mean, if it's coming down at 2 inches an hour and I'm on the other side of town, we gotta talk about that aspect of it too.
Okay, the road's gonna be the priority, as long as this gets open so it's on a mound.
Yep.
And we give it, we give it a shoveling, as best we can do, and, we need to scrape it, just scrape it down quick, but that's the best we can do. We can't be out here constantly, but, and if it gets that bad, we close the offices. We've done it before, we just close them down, so. But if you can get opened at the end, get the mound out of the way, then I think that's the best we can do.
Sometimes timing is off, but generally.
Do what you can. All right.
You understand, you can't be everywhere at once.
I used to think I could, but I'm coming to the realization I can't.
It's a lot of area to cover.
It is. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Conservation Commission.
Didn't meet.
Oh. Heritage, we met.
We met. We're finalizing plans for activities in 2019, and we, our next meeting will be on February 20th. We've changed the time to 6 p.m., so if you're interested in coming to a Heritage Commission meeting, it'll be at 6 p.m. and it's the current correct time is on the website. Now I just got to post the next meeting. Okay. Yes, sir.
I've got one more heritage-related thing to add. I'm assisting one of the Heritage Commission members in greatly expanding the current Wikipedia entry for James Hackett Shipbuilder. Currently it is very short, doesn't mention Brookfield at all, and it's our goal to give more of the history. It doesn't mention that his ship is on the New Hampshire state flag, etc. So we're going to take it from this much to maybe this much, and we're starting to work on that. So just that Brookfield will be mentioned in the revised entry, if it makes it past the Wikipedia censors, which we've dealt with before.
The other thing that I should have mentioned is we are purchasing a state flag to be flown outside the building, so that kind of to honor James Hackett as well. So we'll now have a state flag as well as the American flag on the flagpole out front.
So it will share the same pole?
Yeah.
Okay. That's right, we talked about clips.
Yeah. That should work. All right, did I say something to any trustees? Or, no.
No activity.
Okay. Any other boards or committees we need to touch on? None? Okay. A few old business issues here. The first being the townhouse painting and siding proposals, of which we have 3, I believe. Oh.
As a reminder, it's like
That's
this
right, you
summer
did tell me that,
Saturday.
Oh, yeah, we talked about these on site, so, all right, so we've already touched on that, so we don't, how much we need to do there.
We made a decision.
You have to go with, Harry,
PB Brook.
Peavy Brook. And we would ask for a written confirmation of what he's gonna do, right? I think, because we don't have the verbal more or less than that.
Well, no, I looked at it, I looked at his email, I don't know what more he's gonna put in there, but
Okay.
I think maybe the only thing that's not in there is the tie-back draft.
Okay, we want that.
Yeah.
And we get that standardized contract that we drafted and approval. We'll have to fill the blanks in there and get that over to him for execution.
If you'll email him tomorrow, maybe?
Okay. All right. Moose Mountain Bridge, we kind of just, what was that?
Coming.
Yeah, I'll say we just kind of hit that. We're going to pass budget for now, because I think that's going to be our crescendo for the night. Master plan survey results for the new business item. No, I'm sorry, I'm looking at that.
That's all done.
Sorry, I have no idea this sounds. No, ice removal, we just talked about. Special exceptions. New business item is our copier is outdated, 13 years old or something along those lines, and the way they've been keeping it up and going is by scavenging parts off of old copies of like models. Porter Office Machines has sent forth a bid, or what do you want to call it, an estimate for a new copier, a BizHub 368E copier feature pricing plan. So basically our cost would be $3,999, or we can do a 48-month rental of $99 per month.
So that's a wash.
Yeah, I think it's a good planning number. I wouldn't act on it until it failed. I mean, we get another 8 months out of it, another year out of it, let's take it.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's still working.
Yeah, so this is a good planning number.
So we put this in for office equipment, or what do you want to call it, right?
We might, in August, we might have to spend 4,000, but I wouldn't.
But we have it in the budget.
I would.
In case anything finally dies out. All right, so I say we just kind of, we just put this into the budget for office equipment and have the money there.
So if you're doing that one, are you gonna do phone system, or this will be the only?
Well, once we get into the budget, let's start talking and everything.
Okay.
Unless you get phone system information right now you want to lay on us.
No.
Okay. All right, any other new business items we need to talk about? You guys good? All right, let's go right to the budget. Oh, do we, we'll do mail and bills at the end?
Sure.
All right.
All right, so, budget. So all of the income has remained the same until you get to the bottom of page 2. I need your help remembering from Saturday what number you were going to pull out of the trust funds to do road work. I wrote down at the time that you're putting 80,000 in, but I wasn't sure about what you were pulling out.
Because we got what, 2?
You summed it in your mail. You summed it on your spreadsheet, your road spreadsheet.
Yeah, it was 64,250.
164.
Well, I am sorry, 164,250 was the total number. And we know we have 200 almost even in the capital reserve.
Yeah, I think that's very close to that, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good about that number. I didn't print out the updated spreadsheet, but just circulated it. I have to send it to you. I should have sent it to you. Sorry.
What did you send it to me?
Oh, I did?
164,225.
164. So do you want that number, or do you want 165? 164,225.
No, I didn't understand. You put this number on the right. Is that in that?
Yeah, let me see here. Sorry. Marilou, can you just do just some quick addition for me?
Oh, sure. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna round the numbers up to,
Yeah,
are you, 24,800?
so I did 25,000,
Okay.
24,800, okay.
Yep, 16,250.
Oh, wait a minute, just stop. Yes,
All right, so what's the last number here?
16,250.
64,4. And then, Bryce Abrams coming down. 86,000. And then 64,750.
$256,250, but then you're taking,
You pulled out Moose Mountain.
yeah, you pulled out Moose
Okay,
Mountain,
as well.
whatever Moose Mountain
All right,
was.
we're-
Is that the 86 out?
That's 86. Okay, that's what I was.
So then it's 170,200.
All right, so that number did not include the curbing. So the total amount for the road project would be, how much did you say?
170,200?
Just want to call it 170?
Sure, but what do we do with that? I don't know what that number was, you know.
You remember we had to add,
So is that in that number?
no, it's not, that's why I just had her add it all up.
Okay.
So that 64 should be the number I'm using in the sum, but I didn't, I just used the straight numbers down.
Oh, this number replaces the 58.
That to replace a number, that's where I messed up.
All right, I understand.
Because
So 170?
Yes.
Okay, so then that changes the income side of it, and then we'll go down to, I'll change it on the bottom as well, so the income would now be 425,700, but I know there's probably a couple other.
I've got another income change. Land use taxes,
Yeah,
we can add 30,000 to that number.
30,000 to the 10? Seriously?
Yeah, a lot on the lake sold. Came out of current use, sold for 350.
Are you saying that?
So 40,000?
No, oh, total is 40.
Total 40.
Does the land use change tax?
Well, Frank has a question.
I'm sorry, Frank.
Yeah, I know, just a couple other income questions. I noticed you dropped anticipated income on lien interest and also on the rooms and meals and on the highway block grant by several $1,000s. Is that you were being conservative, or do you have knowledge that that those things are going to go down?
No, we typically, well, we know they're gonna go down, they're gonna continue to go down, but I typically just put in the 25, and then I get, when we redo the income numbers as of the 1st of September, she gives me the actual numbers at that time.
Okay, well, the budget, the 2018 budget was 36, not 25.
Well, but if you look at the bottom of the income statement, it says 2018 budget numbers is corrected on the MS 434.
Okay,
Okay?
good.
Okay.
I just want to follow up on Frank's comment, that's concern for that, and there are a couple other places here where having let me ask a question first. Are these actual numbers, the 2018, close to the final numbers for actuals? Because in the earlier version, the last version of the printed budget, it was only through November.
It was through November, this is through December, but they're certainly not final.
Just to digress for a second, the advantage of having the actual budget voted on compared to the actual helps to inform where we should be positioning ourselves for the coming year, as opposed to what had been budgeted. And so, not knowing what the budget amount was, if it really was, that was approved, it's a little hard to make those judgments. And I guess the final thing I'd say, well, never mind, I'll shut up. That's all I wanted to say about that.
So go up the road.
You leading it, Rick? We're picking it up?
So most of the categories are remaining the same. So executive, 4130 stayed at 35,272. Election for the town clerk's portion stayed at 18,397.
Now, on executive, on office equipment and supplies, isn't that where we're gonna have to budget
No,
for a printer?
no, you're gonna do it in
As what?
Aren't you gonna do a warrant article?
Why?
Are you pulling it out of the trust fund?
I don't know, why? Only 6,000 in there.
So you'd rather just pay for it?
You can still take it out if your agent's to expend without a warrant article.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't like it. My concern is if we're gonna spend it, it should be, potentially spend it, it should be in the budget.
It will be, one page or another. So, we can put it here.
All right, we're gonna come back.
We're gonna come back. I typically don't,
Because there's about 3 things that I wanna come back and talk to about that thing. So go
about
ahead.
the copier or other things.
Because right now we have almost 7,000, if I'm reading my eyes up. There's almost $7,000 in the office equipment account now.
Right,
So,
and you are agents to expend on it.
well, yeah, we've
done that
changed them
before.
all, so, I would argue that we don't know if it's an absolute that it's gonna die this year. So we can put a couple $1,000s into that account, build it up to 9,000.
You mean put a warrant article, put money in?
The warrant article, put a couple thousand into, with that anticipated expenditure coming. But again, it might not be till the following year.
That works.
Instead of,
putting it in under executive.
yeah, so that's my gut, because if the thing lasts, the thing lasts. We can patch along, I'd rather just keep going, it makes copies.
Yeah, but when it dies quickly. But
Oh,
it can be
if
replaced quickly.
It dies, and then we have the money, and we're agents, and we can get the money.
But you still can't overspend the bottom line in the budget.
I know that.
Okay.
But that's a relatively small amount of money,
I
$4,000.
agree. That's why I wasn't even gonna go to the trust fund for it.
Well, I'd rather just maybe bulk it up a little bit, just because phone and whatnot.
Okay, so town clerk remains the same, 18,397. The next change was for 4141 supervisors of the checklist. Should be at the bottom of that page. So I increased that to $2,050. There was a move to increase their salary to $16 an hour. So Brian.
A warrant's needed there.
The warrant is needed there, and I can't remember if you need, I don't remember exactly what you need to say. It may be that you're increasing their salary from here on forward from 13 to 16.
Yeah.
The way that it affects it is $327
Okay.
increase. Okay?
I'll look at back past warrants, but I'm pretty sure.
No, that's a bad one.
I will
Because the
show
state
you.
through.
I found a DRA website that shows you how to write various warrants, and you can just cut and paste them. I'll give you.
Yeah, shoot me.
Yeah.
Because most of them can, but if we got a bad one, then let's
We had a
get
bad
out.
one.
Yes.
So, elections, I didn't increase because I don't think it will increase that much. So,
Excuse me, Marilou.
yep,
Didn't the supervisors of the checklist go up as well? It did from the previous one that I had.
yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2050, it increased
Okay.
from
Okay,
what it
sorry.
was before.
But-
So, yeah,
But, sorry, it was,
it was a lot less.
right, so the differential of the 327, because I just subtracted 327 from,
Yep, and it's a different number.
right, so is the 2063 the right number, or?
2050 is the right number.
Okay. Thank you.
So, treasurer remained the same and the tax collector remained the same.
We, you know, we're gonna need a warrant too for the moderator.
No,
That one's not.
no, because they're not elected.
They're not, okay.
Moderator's elected.
Well,
No, but this is for the,
ballot clerk.
The ballot counters.
Fine.
I just wanna make sure, I don't wanna skip any warrants, so I'm just gonna make notes here.
I tried to give you a couple hints.
Ooh, race.
A raise.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, Mary Lou, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. So, Brian, what I tried to do in that column next to next year's budget, if it's kind of highlighted, do you see where?
Yes,
So that's one of your first clues that you may need a warrant article.
gotcha, okay, thank you.
Okay. So, tax collector's the same, next page. The assessor clerk remained the same at $11,650. Trustees of the trust fund remained the same at $700. I increased the audits, town and professional, to $3,000. We haven't been billed by the auditor for some work that was performed last year, so I just wanted to make sure we had enough money in there to cover it.
So you highlighted that, but there's no warrant needed there, right?
No, that was just a note to me so I could.
No, fine, that's all, I
Let
just
you
wanna make
know
sure,
that's-
because I was like,
Nope.
I couldn't picture how many warrant, okay.
No, there's no warrant there.
Gotcha.
So it's the little space in between, Brian.
Why am I not seeing it here? Oh, there we go, now, all right, once I get to the left, please, thank you.
Okay. So, legal expenses. Is that right? I'm auditing, we did. Legal expenses remained the same at $15,000. And on the next page, 4160, reevaluation of property is at $22,000. Personnel administration, with the increases that were given for this year, I upped that to $8,000 for the employer portion of the payroll taxes. Yes, sir.
Quick question on the reval. Does that come out of a trust fund, or do we actually have a budget for that?
Trust fund.
22, do we have money set aside?
We have-
Trust fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good, fine.
So, you may need a warrant article there. I can take it out.
What I'm wrestling with is, if you're agents to expend, I guess I have to talk to DRA, or you have to. If you're an agent to expend, do you need a warrant article to pull it out? No.
But you should put it, shouldn't you put it in the revenue side
You should put it,
Yeah.
and you should put it in the operating side
as an expense?
as an expense, so that's where you talk to it, if someone wants to talk about it at a town meeting. But to vote on it, it's gotta be,
So it's in the
done.
operating here, but we need it on the revenue side to
Yeah.
raise the funds from the capital reserve.
But do we need a warrant article if we're agents to?
No, I don't think so, because we're agents, I don't think you do.
That's what's not really,
But you want to verify that?
that's what's not clear to me.
All right, verify.
Because that speeds the whole town meeting up. We're gonna do the reval, we're gonna take the 22 out.
We have to do one or the other, yeah. All right, so you'll clarify that, or Mary Lou clarify that with the area?
You will?
I-
And we've heard feedback that other towns, that they don't see any warrant articles to pull money, to spend money. That's what I think I heard you say,
2
right?
years of sitting in the deliberative session in Wakefield, they never had an article to withdraw money.
because you think they're all agents to expend.
I didn't ask,
But
but
it's probably drafted warrants.
that would have been the time for them to put them in, if they were gonna have them.
So they're they're expenditures that show, do they show the revenue also?
I didn't see that, I didn't look at that.
Okay.
So are they different because they're an SB2 town?
Shouldn't be, but I don't know, I'm not the expert.
Yeah, not even.
Okay.
All right, so I increased the employer portion of payroll taxes. Planning and zoning board, stayed the same at $9,000, and the ZBA at $1,500. So next page, now here you go again. So, repairs to building grounds, siding, painting, insulation, windows, door to the shed, and wood things. What are wood things? That was creative, Marilou.
All right, siding, painting, insulating.
Siding, painting, insulation, windows, and then
Oh, then there's building
the next
maintenance.
of building maintenance, the door to the shed, and wood things. What numbers you gonna put in there?
So, we know that the contract that we're signing with Harry is 36-ish.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a little over 35.
We have to put a paint job on that now, that we have to go out for.
Which should be under 10, because there's no scraping, no priming.
Well, the front's not a lot. We have to do the cedar shakes.
True. We do a little, what is?
Just one more thought about the 36 number, is that doesn't account for any rot.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
What are you saying, Rick?
Just scraping on the bell top.
Yeah, so this is far less, but still we have some.
So you still have 36 and 10 for paint?
Yeah.
8 for paint?
Yep.
Pick a number.
10.
I think we go to 10, the actual money in the painting would also take care of any rot issues. Hopefully there's not a lot of rot issues. Sound good, guys? Just do the 36 and 10?
36, make it 50. 36, 46.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Because we talked about, do we want to blow some insulation in between those two buildings when that siding's off? That's our shot at it.
I hate to spend so much money.
That's coming out of the trust. There's 75,000 in the trust.
Yeah, that's true, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, so 76 and some change, so. So, right, so the clapboards are off, that's the time you're gonna blow insulation, right?
Just that small gap.
So it saves a bunch of money in heat in the place.
Maybe keep the pipes.
Yeah.
Well, pipes are all,
Yes.
well, it's always on the school outside, so we would just say the school as well, right?
Oh, the school's done.
Oh, the school's done.
The
Gary was
school's
up
done
around
when
himself.
the sheet
Just
rock off, you can do
transition.
that. So it's just that small gap between the two buildings.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you meant, are we gonna do the exterior walls too?
No.
Just in between, where the two buildings meet?
There's a gap there
Yeah, we
like
know there's
this.
that big giant,
And we only have to fill it 8 feet, right?
that shouldn't cost that much
Above the
money.
pipes.
What? Yeah, just to cover the pipes.
Just to get the shakedown under the pipes and over the pipes,
Because the pipes are all
on the school side.
yes. So if we throw the
Oh, I'm sorry, I
insulation
wasn't
in
following
there.
along, I thought you meant the whole building.
No. Just
Oh, okay.
blow in 8 feet of it.
How much would that cost? That could be, what, $5,000?
Not that much, but it's gonna come out of that 50, that's what I'm saying. So when I said 50,
That should cover
it gives
everything.
us a little room.
Why don't you do 60 then?
Right.
60, who said 60? Made on the end. We don't have to spend it.
No, we don't have to spend
Spend
it.
it.
But we're opening up, we're taking siding off an old building. Doesn't show any evidence of rot and anything underneath it, because you don't see anything on the inside either. But
To your point, it's an old building, God, that's what we're fine.
We've had water leaks, they'll come down inside of
We
it.
can put it back, right?
Yes?
Just not taking
All
it.
right, leave it.
Frank, you go.
Same question, is that coming out of a trust, out of the trust fund? I didn't see it on the income side.
No, you won't.
We won't yet,
I'll do it.
but we got the trust account $76,000.
Right, I thought we had it, but I didn't see it on the income side.
We were trying to figure out
You will.
numbers before
Oh,
we
got it, fine,
backed them in.
good, fine.
So
That's what it's there for.
which number did you settle
We're,
on?
we're gonna land on 60, just in the event that the rot is more of a problem than we're anticipating.
All right, then the next line, building maintenance, the door to the shed.
Now, what's saying door to shed, are they talking about the salt shed or
No,
Eddie's?
the
Eddie's garage, right? I shouldn't call it his
Yeah.
garage, the garage.
Sorry.
And we never got a number on that, right?
Leave it to 5.
Okay.
And the wood things could be like the, I wonder if they are, wouldn't be like the sound sign out front.
We would call them signs.
Yeah,
Okay, it's on my list.
Sign and some other stuff. I don't know where to put it.
okay.
Right, so much.
It had something to do with the garage. I vaguely remember that there was some
Was there?
wooden stuff that you guys were concerned about in the garage. I don't know, I've never been in it.
You don't want
Was it the door? Wasn't
Well,
it the
we're talking about the
The
door.
door, the
But
door
aren't
was,
this framing that we have to deal with, or? Let's just call 5 and let's just see, because we didn't have a.
sorry. I'll try to, okay. So that brings that category to 77,550. Town cemetery. Yep.
There's a reason why the care line jumped $3,000?
The which line, I'm sorry?
So
That's
when,
Dot 200.
so
Oh, I'm sorry.
he gave me a budget that broke out new things they were going to do there, but it all really involved the care of the cemetery. So if you, I'll find it in my notes.
So it includes new improvements to the cemetery.
Yep,
I think they're gonna beef up the road to the veterans area, and they put in money for fill.
Fine, I'm just curious of why it jumped $3,000.
Yeah. I'll look
The
at
grass
it.
isn't gonna grow any longer, it's not in a big.
Oh, here, wait. I think I found it. What did he say?
That's fine.
Mowing both the town cemeteries was 2,500. Bartlett tree fertilizing, 270. 77 cubic yards of 3/4 inch gravel, 1,020. And 4 truck deliveries at 298, a delivery, 1,260.
Yeah, right, that's where it is. Okay, thank you.
Fingertip control some days.
Yeah, we have a warrant for site work memorial area.
So he's, for the granite markers, I believe it's 5,000 for the markers and then 950,
For the placard.
I think,
They've been installed, they estimated 950 to install it.
yes.
And
That's right.
There's
That's
a,
what you want.
there's a way to write a warrant article that says, we're gonna spend the $6,000. And we're gonna fund it by taking the money out of the trust fund, the rest to be raised by taxes. And if that closes out that trust fund, then
And the rest will be taxation.
through taxes, and I'll give you the wording on that.
Okay.
So you're gonna spend this, and you're gonna fund it by taking money from the trust fund,
Whatever balance is left after
And then- yeah.
after we close that, will be done by
taxation.
tax. All right, that'll be a little tricky to word that one, but if you got something that I can use.
Yep.
Insurance is 2,351, and for the regional association, we left it at $1. Now, the next one, I had a question on, because did Craig give you a warrant article to do the restoration work on that volume of town?
Yes.
Yeah, so
He printed it out, right?
thought-
He gave it to us, hard copy.
I I thought you said it was a $10,000 warrant article. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said, but I want to change it.
Okay.
He said there's 3 volumes. There's 3 volumes to do.
So I suggest we take the 10,000, take 3,000 against it, the rest out of operating, so we have some left for the other two volumes. In other words, just like we did with this granite marker, we offset some of the spending with money from the trust fund, as opposed to taking it all out.
Which trust fund do we have in here? I'm sorry.
There's a restoration
Yeah.
Really?
digest.
Records preservation.
Yep.
It's a capital reserve fund, or it's listed that way with the trustees.
Oh, there is records,
Right
okay.
in the middle.
So, wow, there's 11, it's almost 12 grand in there.
And he said we have 3 volumes total to do. I don't think he told us what would cost.
What the cost was, that's my,
He didn't tell us what the cost was for a, we'll have to get that from him, because I don't know what we have to spend. But we take 4,000 and the rest from taxation,
Why don't we do 5,000? Why don't we split it 50/50?
because there's 3 to do. We got 3 total, we got 3 volumes to do.
Are we doing, trying to remember, we doing them all?
No, we're doing one.
We're doing one.
One, and then
It would cost
one.
10,000.
We don't know. That's what his warrant article was
That's right,
for.
we were talking about it now, that's right. And we're gonna do the oldest one first and we'll have to work.
no, the one in the worst shape.
All right, this is the
oldest.
worst, all right,
So we have to find out what it's, an estimate
So 10 grand was for all of them, right? That's what one.
it's one.
was. He wanted a warrant article for 10,000 to pull it out, but I don't think he quantified what the price, what the
What the
restoration.
cost would be in it. I wonder if they don't have to see the book first, but I don't know that.
But same logic, when we're done with the restoration, we have 0 left in that trust fund.
Do one, so we're doing a book per year, in other words?
Yeah. So we take a third out for a book,
All right, I understand.
but we have to know how much to put in the budget.
Yeah, because is it gonna be 10 or is it gonna be 7 or is it gonna be 12?
That's right.
So Craig needs to firm that number up with us.
Give us a better planning.
All right, so again, 1/3 from trust and 2/3 operating tax. Craig. Estimate. Okay.
Back to the granite markers, that's for the memorial, correct?
Yeah.
Wasn't that whole thing gonna be a warrant article?
Yeah.
But we would not have from the trust,
Well, we got the Veterans Memorial.
right?
It's only got, what, 2,500 some change in there? So we're gonna zero that out and the rest will have to come from taxes. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I didn't see that before.
Oh, you think we're taking from the cemetery trust? Or, oh, yeah, no, that's the one we earmarked for that.
And then we're 0 with that one. We
Yeah.
0 that one.
So I'm sorry, I'm a little
We're
confused.
jumping around.
Back to the granite markers. I was also thinking that it was some other source. This is from the Veterans Memorial
Yes.
and is roughly $2,600 in it.
Correct.
But the total cost of the markers is what's listed here?
Yes.
That's markers plus installation.
6 grand.
Okay, so that's the cost.
Yes.
Okay, and then, okay, so it's not half from the trust, it's the.
No.
No,
So 2,600 is from the trust.
correct, and then the balance will be,
Okay,
Everything we have in the trust, pull it out.
and now I understand.
it's not to kill somebody's trust account.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay. So, public safety, the numbers for Wakefield Fire Police and Ambulance, $319,392. Forestry, $1,303. And then we come to the next one, we need to discuss the CEO and building inspection salary for this code enforcement officer. Hang on to it.
No change.
Leave it at 5 or leave it at 10?
5.
5.
Yeah.
So that brings up, that stays the same then as this year's budget, $6,475. And then emergency management, $5,500. On the next page, highways and streets.
What's the 500 for again?
I don't remember.
It was for something that Brad wanted. 5,000 is the grant.
That's right.
And then he wanted something at about $500.
I just don't remember that.
He was one of the first ones to present, so it's, I don't remember. But
Frank?
One quick question. Are the numbers from Wakefield now firm? Last time I was here, they wasn't clear whether they were firm or not.
I believe they are.
Okay. They didn't lower them down?
They had their chance, didn't they?
They said they didn't go the other way.
So, do you want me to look up the 500?
No, that's
Okay.
not what that.
No, just for the hearing.
All right, so then highways and streets has stayed the same to what you raised it to, 210,000. So, anything there? Sanitation is the Wakefield solid waste disposal, 69,893. Health agencies, we had 2,500 requested this year. And then welfare, we kept it 10,000. Tri-County cap at 4,000 in the Wakefield food pantry at 2,000. Wolfboro Parks and Rec stayed the same at 4,216. We left $1 in town parks for Brookfield. Gaffney Library remained the same at 14,000. And Frank doesn't need money for flags this year, he said. Should we leave $1 in there in case you do?
Why don't you want to leave $1 in there? Because I will the following year. You want to keep the line alive, don't
I do not keep it alive. You got $1. Don't spend it all.
you? I'm going to be close, but I should have enough for this year, but I'll definitely be out for next year.
Okay. We kept the Agricultural Commission $1 in each category for a total of 3. Heritage Commission, 2,850. Conservation Commission, 801. And $1 in the debt service, interest on debt. Town purchase of land, $30,000, and I should have told you what year this was. but it would be four, I think.
4.
Yep. So here's your next
Follow the term of 8.
7.
7, yeah.
That's what we put 30 down on the 7, that's right.
So here's your next 2 warrant articles, Brian, the Heritage Fund and the.
Yeah, those are
Conservation.
stamped, those are
Those are standard.
plugins.
Okay, so here we go.
So on my list,
On your list, what you got?
well, the first one is short one. We have to replace the sign out front if it doesn't fall down. It's dead. So we need money for that. The other thing we talked about was the heating system in here. Do we want to supplement this heating system with one of those high-efficiency heat pump things that also provide air conditioning?
I think that's a good idea, Rich.
Just from a practical standpoint, where would you envision that being put?
Over at one of these offices.
It has to go on the outside wall.
That I know, that's why I'm,
No, it doesn't.
No, the equipment doesn't have to go. I think,
We can put it above one of these doors or over
Yeah.
here.
really, it doesn't need to go outside with how do they?
Well, we got an attic up here. They can come through the attic and sneak in. right?
yeah,
So
that's
it's
what,
a full
that's what I just
ceiling.
realized when I said that.
Oh,
It's a full ceiling.
Now I'm, okay, all right.
Can't put it here.
Well, for multiple reasons, yeah.
But we could put it either side of there, that attic, there's nothing using that attic, right, that's just.
And when I looked at those, the split systems, like the Mitsubishi,
Yeah.
but there's several out on the market now, is usually the cost of putting the second unit in is not much. That they'll handle two units, one outside compressed, the outside unit will handle 2 inside units. So there's just an incremental cost for doing 2, but there's, with the freight house at the historical park where the model railroad is, there's only 1 in there, and that's as many square foot as this building is. So it might be that just 1 will do this whole building.
They're really not very expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
you need an electrician for $1,000, and you need the equipment installed for, pick another number, 5, 8, something like that. So 10 is more than enough.
Yeah.
That's, when I price it out, I think that sounds about right. There's actually a competitor to the Mitsubishi, and I want to say it's just, I can't remember which one it is, but it also has a dehumidifier in it.
Yes.
And I know someone that uses that in upstate New York, and they use the dehumidifier. They hardly ever use the air conditioner because the dehumidifier pulls so much heat out of the moisture in here that the house feels comfortable with just that. So that's something also to look at.
Plus, our system here is, how old is this building? Almost 20?
2000.
2000?
It was built.
It's got to be 18.
So it's almost.
Yeah, so 20, yeah, 2000. 18, 19. Time flies.
So, so if you want to do, we got to put that in someplace. What do you want to do? Put it in? Put it in? I don't know where. So where will we put that?
There's probably a,
That would right behind it.
No, where will we put it?
we're
Where
on
will
the
we put it?
budget, yeah, I think there is, in the capital outlay, as I recall, I have one for,
Is that a capital outlay?
well, 10,000. That's,
I guess it is. It's equipment that's going to last more than 3 years.
I think I have an account. I have other accounts in that.
All right, let's put it in and see what feedback we get. And the next one is even more challenging. Do we want to put some money away to, and I don't know where this is going, to support internet expansion in this town? If that's going to cost us money, where do we get it from? And do we want to start a trust fund now to put some money away?
How far away is wireless?
That's very interesting. Right now, I've been looking at it, it's very cost competitive. You just don't get the bandwidth. The best you can get is 16 meg, and now cable is up 100, you're pushing 200
You mean gig? Or meg?
meg.
Meg.
Isn't that megs? The meter, whatever the meter gives you, I get, the best I can get home.
Megabits.
Megabits?
Megabytes per second. Upload and download?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's megabytes.
Megas.
That's
So-
what I see on the cable is 36.
And then there's overall bandwidth.
So, that's the question, but we get a lot of feedback from the town, they want to do something. If we have to fund something, do we want to start putting money away now? Don't have to spend it, but we'll be positioned.
We want to ask the question, do they want us to explore that?
Or you could go further and put a warrant article on, and either it's voted up or down. Does the town want us to put money away for it or not?
I just wonder, what's money gonna do us? What?
We're gonna go in the cable business and pay to run the cable.
I was afraid of.
What if they want to split costs with us? They want us to ante up 50, I'm making this up, they want us to ante up 50,000.
That's what I'm getting at. I want to have this dialogue, is I want to think, like, we're putting money away to bribe people, or are we putting money away, to, that's what it feels like we have to do to get the internet around here.
If they want 50,000, and we said at a time you need 50,000, that's a hit to the tax rate, 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
I suspect they'll say yes. There's enough people that want internet that they're gonna say, I want it.
So if we supplement their contract, I can.
Who's that?
Mr. Representative, Have you seen any bills or anything designated cable companies as public utilities? Since it's not just TV anymore, and people rely on it for their livelihood?
There's about 800 bills, so I could look through them to see. I'm sure there is something about broadband.
Is there a search engine there that you can write in cable?
I thought that
Skip
the lawyer
799 of them?
spoke to that, didn't she?
There's a couple of funding issues, and one would be, they're looking for the town to kick some money in. That's one option. The other option might be franchise fees. That's another way to fund it. Can't tell, so.
Another way is to just hire a consultant to evaluate what our best options are. That would be another use of the money.
You're in that blind spot. What do you use? Just curious.
I use Verizon Wireless Jetpack. That's my only internet access. Couldn't get DSL, too far away.
And that's what I was looking at, Jetpack. I didn't know how that works.
But it's you know, you have it's not unlimited.
This is the cellular network.
Yes.
I've got one too.
I understand it works.
But it's not why you can't have a router in the house. It doesn't connect to a router.
Oh.
So you gotta move your device around and, you know, to whatever machine, you know.
So
whatever.
we'll have to talk later, okay. I thought it was a
So-
router. No.
No.
No, I've got one, mine's this big.
Yeah,
I
I
used
saw-
to carry it on business.
All right, so the question is, do we want to, yes, the town, they want some, put some money away.
You've already dedicated some funds to the lawyer, correct?
Oh, that's short money. It's in our 5,000.
Okay. But, so we are already, in fact, are spending some funds towards this project, but that, the other lawyer we heard from,
Legal fees.
who's
We're paying
who's looking at the contract issue right
Well,
now.
we renewed the contract, franchise agreement for 1 year.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
So we had some time to figure out how we could get better coverage. We went back to her, and she's asked Spectrum to quantify the cost for building out the network.
Okay.
That request is, I bet, 2 months old. So it's time to find out, you know, what are they gonna get back and say, $30,000 a mile, who knows? The problem is the town can't, it's difficult to spend public money on private investment, impossible, difficult. So, but the question is, do we want to bank some money? Or do we want to just see what happens next year?
Well, if we can't spend public money on private investment, why even bother to bank it?
If there's a way to do it, and she finds it out. But I guess what she told me was, before you spend any money in that area, you need multiple public hearings to make sure it's in the best interest of the town, and the town wants to do it. And it's not just the board saying we want to do it. The town has to almost demand it, and then you can do it. But she's trying to work it so we don't have to spend any money.
Okay.
Another option for the funding for this reserve, capital reserve, could be to match grant money, which is exactly what Bristol did when they got that grant from the North Country
Council.
North Country Planning Agency, or it's a federal agency that covers the 4 counties, 3, now soon to be 4 counties. And Bristol did that last year by putting in a substantial chunk of money at their town meeting, and then they, in anticipation of being awarded the grant, which happened. So they were able to access that grant money with leveraging the small dollars from the town. So that would be another option.
You're talking matching funds. What kind of money are you thinking of we'll put it in?
I don't want to put any money in.
Okay. What kind of money were you thinking of putting in?
25,000. It's a warrant article. So the town says yes or no.
Rick, just so I hear on all sides, why don't you want to?
Because the reason is we can't use public money to support private enterprise.
You know, maybe with the grant we can, I mean, but they just proposed a different way to attack it.
But we don't know, so why are we collecting money?
I would say we're collecting money so that we have an opportunity, we don't have to wait another year to get the funding.
So we'll just take it in the cash, put it in an account in case we need it.
Well, I would say it differently.
Okay. I would say it.
The town has requested us to take some action to bring cable into the town. To get ready for that activity, we're building up a reserve of funds to support that activity. We may not have to spend it.
So we're asking if the town wants us to,
Yeah, it's a warrant article. It's a warrant article. They can say yes or no.
and if it's yes,
We put the money in.
Okay.
They're willing to do it. If they say no, we strike it.
okay.
I mean, it's up to the,
Well, if it's a town decision, then.
yeah, it's not, we're just putting it on the warrant. Yeah, we're just putting it on the warrant. It's a town vote.
And in all reality, every line item here
Well,
is
we just gotta
except
make sure,
revenue.
we just gotta make sure that it's clear that the warrant article is, does the town want us to,
And when we speak to it that
To
night,
the
yeah, we'll definitely have to say, listen, we're hearing you loud and clear through those master plan questionnaires. Cable's a huge issue around here, you know? We're not saying throwing money at a problem's a solution, but we might need money to, you know, to make the problem go away or to fix the problem. They may just say no, you know.
It's fine, right? If they know, they say no.
They say no, yeah, but at least we're,
okay.
so are you guys comfortable with 25?
Yeah, start.
It's a start.
All right, so,
So that would be a new trust.
yes.
One of the residents up in Drew Farm, telephone company wanted to charge him $1,200 to run 100 yards of wire to their house.
Telephone company?
Consolidated. So they can get
Well,
to you.
it was because it's a private road.
Oh.
But just to bear in mind, that was their charge for telephone wire.
Oh.
The customer cost was $1,200, but I think the total cost was around $3,000 to go 3 poles. They charge a lot of money to run wires.
I'll do a real quick aside. When we put phone wires in down here,
Yeah.
it was gonna be $2,000, and that was 20 years ago, until I found another customer, and then the PUC requires you to do it for free.
Well,
So my neighbors quickly jumped on it, so if he has a neighbor that also wants it, I don't know if the PUC still requires that. That date is from 20 years ago.
yeah, he's alone, but the catch is he's gonna be having neighbors, but he doesn't have them now.
All right.
All right. That'll be a new warrant, new trust account. For the purchase of office equipment under capital outlay, that'd be a warrant, right? And we're gonna we wanted to put money into that. Are we good with $2,000?
Sure.
Now, that's not including with the discussion of the phone system.
I've been trying to do some research. I've got calls into 2 towns waiting for them to get back to me.
As to what they paid and what they did and.
What I've seen so far on the internet is for 10 extensions, it's about $20 an extension a month.
So you're paying more or less to have your stuff parked outside of, you
I
know.
don't know how it works. I can't get a lot of dates. I'm still struggling on that. And they say if you pay yearly, you get a significant discount.
You're not owning equipment, you're having someone else basically run the show for you.
So I'm asking, oh yeah, everything's internet, and I'm asking whether you need new phones. See, do we have to add new phones in?
I can't imagine you can work off these
I
phones.
suspect you do too, but they don't quantify that cost anyplace, so I'm still looking.
It's like I told you, like my phone's my computer. I mean, literally it's my computer. You know, so is there a way we could get Microsoft Link downloaded to all of our PCs, and that's your phone? That's the easiest way of doing this.
There's an issue with training personnel on that one a little bit,
Well,
but it doesn't take much.
learn to get out of the way.
Yeah, yep.
How do you have a phone?
No.
You put a button, you push a button.
I have a headset. I have a wireless headset.
Yeah.
I just put my headset on. My phone literally rings on my computer desktop. I click answer. I dial out on my desk. My voicemail's there. Everything's there.
Whoa.
So we should look at that a little bit, because we have the computers.
See, but I don't fully appreciate.
Yeah, but we don't have the internet speed that you do at home.
But we might be getting it, because
See, I don't fully appreciate what kind of internet you need, and I don't, what that software costs, and
part of the franchise agreement said that we get free cable here. Cable. That's TV.
Yeah.
That's TV.
That's why Brad wanted to put like a 72-inch TV right there one year.
So the question is, what do you get? That's not the 500, is it? So
those LCDs have gone down.
I know they have. So another question for the lawyer is, if he asks for that service, does that include the internet also? Because they need bandwidth.
Yeah.
So we're not ready yet.
At one point in our negotiations with Time Warner, they played hardball, and they said, no, TV, that's all we're required to do.
They can say that.
I know it doesn't say that, but.
No, I'm saying, that's what it says.
Yeah.
People say as soon as the wire comes in, you can get the rest. Not so. Right?
It means a blocking it.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
I'd like to make a request on the townhouse transfer to the expendable trust for the townhouse repair trust fund, that we put either $25,000 or $30,000 in that. We're gonna look at windows, plaster, and paint for that building.
So right now we're drawing that account.
60, pull up 60 from 72. The last quote we got on plaster was about 25,000, but that's 5 years ago.
And that was a very loose quote.
Yeah, it was. So,
Windows were 2,000 apiece.
yeah, and I don't remember how many we had, 10?
10.
Yeah, 10.
So 20 and 25?
Don't have to put it all in 1 year. What's in there now? There'll be
I looked.
15 left.
Be 15 left, so.
15 left, so.
We're doing a lot of work this upcoming year, so we could take a year off, like we have in the past.
We're working on the outside, huh?
Was that?
We're working on the outside.
That's what I'm saying, we're getting a lot done, so this it's a lot of money, 60 grand. Take a year off and build the account up next year to get plaster or windows or whatever.
I think we'll make it.
Because did we say we want to do the windows before the plaster? Is that what the thought
We
process?
don't necessarily have to, according to one of our construction people in town, if they're very careful.
Well, that's the trick of it now, isn't it?
Find that guy.
Yeah.
I think you should put some in, maybe 15,000. They can say no if they think it's going to
If
be.
it's 15, we'll round us up to 30, right?
30 means we could do the plaster if we're on our way to doing the plaster.
We gotta do the plaster, but I think we gotta do the windows first, don't you?
That's 20,000. Oh, that's 10,000.
Yeah.
2,000.
Yeah.
Well, how many windows we got over there?
10.
That's what I thought, so that's 20 grand for the windows. So we could do the windows and the plaster first, but I think 15 grand is a good number. Brings us back to 30.
Gives us a little flexibility.
In worst case, we don't. We either can take it, we just have to take an extra year.
Yeah, see what the town wants to do. It's a warrant article.
You agree, Rick?
Yes.
They'll look at the ceiling.
So we do the plaster windows, but we technically should have enough money in the budget this year for it.
I don't know of anything else then. Do we have to put any other money in the trust fund?
So the only other one I have is the 80,000 that you wanted to put in to continue the road repair.
We were pulling, oh my God, there,
160 out.
170, you said.
170.
170, I know we changed that number.
Remember? That range.
Saturday, you said 50.
Yeah, we would jump all over the place with numbers. So we draw down 170, it'll be 30 left.
50 to bring it back to 80.
50 bring back to 80. I thought that was the thought process, right?
Is that what you want, is 50 in there?
Yeah, right, that sounds right.
Didn't you look at your roads for next year and see if we can do any?
Yeah. At that point, we would struggle to get Moose done, or we would have to begin to divide Clark up into sections, or just do Palmer.
You said 80.
We don't want to do moves till it cools off, so we got the patch program.
Right, that's right. We're gonna wait on Moose because of the
Traffic is too much activity.
lumber and whatnot. So we could always do Palmer, or we could break the section of Clark off next year and do like a $50,000 road project and continue to build the fund back up.
Especially the center part, right through the corner.
All right. I think that's my list.
Okay, so sign out front.
Before we do sign, are we putting any more money in for the Moose Mountain Bridge?
What's in there?
We get the two funds, right?
Yep.
We get 25 and 7, so we got 100 grand.
Oh, we had it.
Thought you had it.
It was not.
Well, I thought we were gonna put more in because we know that the bridge is gonna be more than the 100. And just looking at the, even considering Colton's projections being high, even if we do the hydros, you know.
It's gonna go way low if that works.
Different.
Is it your goal to have a clearer picture on what the bridge might be by town meeting? Or do you think we'll know by then of whether there'll be alternative proposals?
I don't think we'd have really solid.
Okay.
We have all sorts of speculation of what we could do.
All right.
See, when
Well, we just know the proposal on the table is gonna be very expensive.
Yeah. So, therefore, the prudent thing to do is put more money in it.
I think we can't stop now. 100 grand's a nice, I wish it would cost us 100 grand. We'll put another 30 grand in it.
It's a warrant article.
Wow.
I suggest you put it in the capital reserve, not the expendable trust.
Which one's
You
the
just
top?
need to pick
The top one there, the 19, the CRF2 there.
Yeah, that's the capital reserve.
Yeah, that's the one. I'll earmark that one.
How much did you say?
Oh, I pitched 30, but. Rick, what do you think?
What was the worst case doing what Holden proposes?
It's over $250,000, right?
Well, I think it was like 120, 130. And then we heard about temporary bridges.
Yeah.
You know, the add-ons that
That
got
weren't
us.
there originally.
Yeah, so we heard it could go as high as
We
a
have to
quarter
find
million.
another way.
Yeah, we have to.
The 30 would keep us moving forward.
All right, put 30.
I know Mr. Williamson will ask about his town garage and storage shed.
Not this year. In my opinion,
Here.
I'm gonna recommend that one.
Needs a match.
Huh? Yeah,
Just checking.
that's good.
Well, we got over 20 grand in there, so we're,
For the garage and storage.
yeah, town garage and storage, it's almost
The
20,500.
bank building's gonna collapse. It's just a matter of time, right?
Doesn't.
As we open up Tumble Down Dick Road and connect it to Pleasant Valley again.
Okay,
I think that's it. I just make sure we don't miss any.
Yep.
so the sign out front,
Oh, I'm sorry.
$1.
Well, where would you put it, Marilou? Is there,
I'll find a place to put it.
you would just put it on expenses? Or just, I don't think that's a capital.
No,
No.
that's an operating.
Yeah,
Wouldn't we just put it on the town building?
on the town building, yeah.
Right,
Is that the Brookfield, New Hampshire sign?
The one right in front, the one right in front of the flagpole?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really rough.
So that's a repaint on that?
Oh,
No, that's a
repaint
rebuild.
anymore.
Redo.
It's shallow.
It's pretty well rotted and dry rotted and.
Did you guys settle on the heating system issue?
Oh,
We put a warrant article in for,
well, no, we didn't
Yeah,
settle
we did.
on it. I heard 10,000 and I didn't know if that's what we want to do.
that will cover it.
Okay. Is this the year to do it?
Put it on the list, we're gonna look at this warrant article list again.
Okay.
This is a,
All right, let's call it heat pump, right, for lack of better terms. I'll just call it heat system.
we gotta look at the list again.
It's just- we said 10,000 should cover,
I
it,
think
right?
it'd be very close.
So nothing with the generator this year.
So it's gonna have to be, is that gonna be a new trust fund? 'Cause
No.
I can't find what you put that in. It's not, it's
See, that's what
not,
I'm confused, that's why I wasn't sure where this is going.
I think this will be under,
it's not town building and ground maintenance. 'cause it's
so the
not-
sign out front, I think, would be under, under,
Obviously, we got repairs the buildings and grounds, so that's where the sign should go, right?
yeah.
Where would a furnace go?
That's right. That's exactly right, yeah.
That's kind of a repair in a way, right? Or is that building maintenance?
It's maintenance.
Yeah, it depends on how long it lasts. You think it'll last?
Where
Better list, the better list.
do we put the generator money?
That'd be maintenance as well, I think.
So are you doing,
That's where it goes.
so let's do one at a time. Let's do the sign.
All right, sign, how much money do we think the sign's gonna cost?
1,000?
Yeah. I think you paint it, build it,
Install it.
so you have to do concrete footings and stuff, right?
You
So-
looked at that sign so close that they know it needs to be replaced, I think we did pretty good.
Pardon? Oh, yeah. That'll be touchy, you put your finger through.
Who discovered that?
A good
The
stiff.
painter,
Oh,
the painter shouldn't be painting this.
So you kind of added that line item at that 60,000. So can you absorb the sign in that?
That's what I'm wondering. Do we want to just leave that as is?
And try to get a sign out of it.
We can squeak a sign out of it.
And then with the building maintenance, I'll take that up to 15,000
And that's
to
what,
cover the,
yeah, because we're not gonna put a trust fund, that's the expenditure.
No, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it,
I tried to get last Ian to give us a quote. He got busy.
yeah. You go, what?
He's busy. He's
Oh,
gonna
For which topic?
did,
the heat
be-
pump.
Heat pump.
Ron Lass is a plumber over in town. So we would go to 15 for building maintenance.
yep,
We're leaving building and grounds at 60. And
Anything
I
you
think on the
want?
notes, I would like to have a note on this side there, $10,000 for heat pump,
okay.
just because I don't want that to be overlooked.
So the building maintenance line item is now 15?
That's correct.
You done with the budget?
I'm good with the budget, Rick.
So,
Let's
Neil,
let's review again. What are our next steps?
I gotta draft the warrants, circulate those this week.
Okay.
You're gonna give me the website and some
Oh, yeah,
language on that.
Yep.
Once we get that, we've already got the hearing notice published, we've already got that out to the newspaper.
Do we have to publish, help me, I think we have to put the budget out X number of days before the hearing.
before, I thought it was right around February
I have it on the calendar.
1st or
now.
2nd.
But yeah, the draft budget goes out publicly,
So,
so.
which means that I have to have it finalized, the warrant articles and the budget, because it has to be printed on their form,
Yep.
approved by them by February 1st or 2nd, I would think.
Can we have a coffee Saturday.
yes.
Yes.
Can we look at This,
That'd be-
will you have the warrant articles by Saturday?
I want to make sure I have it done, yeah.
Because we can go over those, we'll add those to this number on Saturday, so we start to get a ballpark number of how the number looks.
In case some of the wording is not perfect on them, but we'll have a good
The
frame to
numbers.
work from.
And because if you look at the calendar, the 12th is the hearing.
I'd like to discuss them the 26th, and that would be good.
Yeah.
I'll send them, we'll get them printed, we'll print out a bunch of copies, we can talk them up. We can then finalize them, get them,
Finalize the numbers too, so we have.
and I'll get it to Laura as soon as I'm done, I'll just get it to Laura so she can start to work on them. But at least we'll have something to work off of on the 26th.
So this is really our last official meting before the 12th.
Right. We can always put another meeting in if we need to.
All right.
I'll make the copy.
All righty.
Thank you.
If you're gonna be making decisions on the budget, shouldn't you post that for Saturday?
Wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt.
Because we'll be talking warrant articles, so it's technical budget type stuff, so.
You've got 3 days, so you might as well do it.
Yeah, wouldn't hurt.
You got time.
Is that where we just posted it?
It's posted as a selectment meeting, but I think,
Let's be clear.
just let them know that there'll be some budget talk.
All right.
Maybe we'll put extra coffee on, right?
Well, he's gonna be there, they're gonna. All right, so we're
Maybe
good
this
with,
won't
all
throw as much out.
It's either that or Danish, no budget.
right, so we're good with
Oh.
budget.
DJ's bringing oatmeal, so,
Oh, she is again?
yeah.
With maple syrup?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
just checking.
We're gonna be healthy as hell.
Huh?
We're gonna be healthy.
Bring a fruit,
I'll make
bring a
that
fruit
help,
bowl,
don't
I'll
worry
go
about
over the top.
All right, so we're done with budget. I
Uh-oh.
talked about
Yep.
wetlands, that's junk. That's approved.
Looks like she has something to say.
As far as the meeting on Saturday, do you want it just posted for the 8 to 10 for the coffee, or do you want this posted for a specific time?
I would just say 8 to 10 coffee and then just put a
Budget discussion.
with the budget discussion.
Last time you had a meeting like that, you said 9 o'clock. You did that a few months ago.
That was the first.
You had something, so you
I
said,
would need 9.
selectmen's meeting at 9 o'clock, coffee 8 to 10. You did that once before.
Yeah, we'll just put down, then put 9 o'clock budget discussion,
Okay.
the budget warrant
We
discussion.
need to at least do 9:15.
Okay, 9:15.
Not good with me?
Thank you.
Love you.
Why was it 9:15?
Because she has breakfast until.
Well, we're going to be reviewing the warrants anyway, so we're not going to be, hopefully we won't be changing any line items on you very well. Okay, 9:15.
All right, what do you got, Doctor?
All right, we have two abatements. The first abatement is from Mr. Peter Donnelly at 12 Rice Drive. We have Rod Wood is suggesting a $48.71 abatement due to the fact that there's no longer pavement on the road. And he put forth his tax abatement appeal, and Rod has sent it forward. So I'll make a motion that we accept Peter Donnelly's abatement request of $48.71.
Second?
What about other people that live on dirt roads, are they gonna get it too?
That was a really good question. I asked the same question.
Yeah.
The people on Price Road, they wrote letters to every person on Price Road and said, this is an opportunity. If you're interested, put your abatement in.
That's a one-shot deal?
Every year until it's paved.
Okay.
They didn't do Pike, but they did Price. And
Oh, Pike's paved.
oh, Pike's paved, okay, you're right.
No,
Right.
we did grind Pike.
So they put a letter to the residents, because I asked the same question, haven't the rest of the guys? And we're waiting for them to go on to abate, they can apply for it.
So, do we vote on that one?
I got a second.
Okay.
And all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Aye. All right, I'll sign it first. That's that one anyway. We have another abatement from Rice Drive.
Yeah, Diana first.
Okay.
Mark and Susan Stengel of 4 Palmer Drive in Brookfield are looking for a $10.51 abatement for the year 2018 due to road encroachment. Rod Wood has reviewed this, and there's a corner of Palmer and Bryce that is encroaching upon to Stengel's lot, and the amount of square footage would come up to a $10.51 abatement. I make a motion that we accept the $10.51 abatement as recommended by Ron.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Just got one thing to sign, right? There's no other spots. Sure. That's right. Granted there, right?
That we signed?
Revised assessment.
That's the assessment times the tax rate.
So the revised assessment,
Assessment
2,300, okay,
times the tax rate.
gotcha. Okay, I was making sure I'm not doing something.
That's,
Okay.
Is this all one?
Yeah, this is these,
Okay.
you've got the survey and everything. The front thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a spot. Okay. That's a spot.
And the rest you can sign there. We'll sign someplace else. Take that one.
Did you sign someplace else, Rick, or? I thought you signed this.
I thought the first one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I thought you got the.
Here's the package that goes with it. Did I sign this one?
I got the other one.
All right, now this is, get this all together here. All right, I think we're good.
Sign this one. Okay, so these go to,
Back to Bob.
I think they go to Diane at this point, yes? Abatement requests?
I'm not sure.
Marilou, would you read the bills on the record for us, please?
Certainly. Martin Salt, 1,000, oh, need my glasses. $1,807.44. Eversource, $275.60, and $75.94 for Eversource as well. 10 Construction, for plowing, sanding, and salting, $11,461.50. I had 5 W-2 forms and 1099s, $79.46 is owed to the treasurer. Quality fire protection, $112 even for the fire extinguisher inspection. Here, this was mileage for a Conservation Commission member to go to a meeting at $46, and then dues to be paid to New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions, $200. White Mountain Oil, we already had another fill-up, $912.66. Porter Office Machine, $68.39. And Mitchell Municipal Group, $83.20. and $44.42. We owe Miss Laurie for buying a chair pad for Virginia, $49.99. I purchased the 2019 payroll program at $119. And Interware Development, which is the software that Virginia works for Clerk works, is $297 for the maintenance for the year.
That's it.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills as read.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I was giving this a quick read, but it sounds like towns can issue bonds. Would it be issue or would we be?
We're not
Purchase.
bonds.
Just so the public knows what we're talking about, I sent you a
Sorry,
text which has Senate Bill 170, which passed last session, which was allowing towns to bond out for expansion of broadband. But I'll find out tomorrow if there's
I talked to the lawyer about it. I talked to the lawyer about it. It's if you're gonna get into the broadband business.
like Burlington, Vermont did, where they create their own.
Yes, we're not gonna be in the broadband business. Yes, we looked at that one.
But I'll check tomorrow to see if there's anything in this session that would be related to our issue.
Thank you.
Oh, I see, okay, okay. Thanks, have a check.
A couple of people report.
Diane, what you got?
Hey, sorry, do you need to finish up with the bills? Because I just discovered something that I think we missed on the budget.
On the budget? I think we're good with the bills, what,
So I can wait if you want to finish up with the bills.
Just checking sure we all initial.
okay, no, why don't you go ahead.
So, we're doing carpet reval, right?
Yes.
Is that in there for 22,000?
Correct.
We need to reflect that on the revenue side.
I will.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get all those revenues in there once,
I'll get them in.
because that's coming out of that reserve fund, where we have most of that money. What we got, we got 32 grand in there, so that's where that money will be coming from.
Okay, thank you. I have enough to do it.
And we're agents of that, so we yank that money out, we don't need a warrant for that, right?
We're gonna check on that.
Right.
You're gonna check on that, that's right.
Looks got two decent.
No checks to sign?
No page.
Are we all good? Brings us. Yep. All right, cool. Meeting's adjourned, thank you.
Hey Frank, do you know the square footage of this building? Okay, so I heard you mention it was the same size as the,
No, I was just guessing.
okay,
Because
all
I've
right,
been in the freight building. The freight building's pretty wide and long.
yeah,
So I just made a wild guess that they're equivalent.
about the same size,
Yeah.
okay.